My 38 female, wife of 16 years cheated on me, 44 male, with her boss. About a month ago, my wife cheated on me with her ex-boss. He'd left the company the week before. We were both supposed to go to a party downtown that night and spend the night at a nearby hotel. Our babysitter became unavailable and I needed to stay home with our kiddo, 5 years old. She decided that she would go alone and stay the night without me. Before she left for work that morning, I told her how uncomfortable I was with that. Normally, I wouldn't have cared, but my spider sense was tingling because of weirdness over the previous few days. She told me there was nothing to worry about and that was that. I woke up with a start at 2:15 a.m. and a knot in the pit of my stomach. She'd recently turned off her phone location service. Should have been a huge red flag, but I didn't actually think that much of it, but I checked it anyway. She'd turned it back on and I could see she was at an apartment complex nowhere near the party location. She was there until 9 a.m. I confronted her when she got home and after some half-hearted lies she stopped denying it. It was the first time, though it wasn't a moment of weakness. She'd been thinking about it and planning for it for a couple of weeks. She knew what she was doing and obviously didn't care what it did to the family. Our marriage has had its ups and downs and I've not always been the greatest husband. I've never been unfaithful though and I love her dearly. Whatever issues we had I think we could have worked through. From what I can piece together, I think she was looking for a quick escape from a husband and child that she felt were stifling her. It was a chance to have a different, more exciting life. Turns out that her ex-boss was really just looking for a little something on the side. He put her into a cab still in her evening gown and made her make the 9 a.m. walk of shame back at her hotel by herself. Oops. After she finally admitted the infidelity to me, she told me that it had been a mistake and she wanted to stay with me. There's a chance that her ex-boss would try to hire her at the new company he works for. She's really good at her job and I suspect his motivations would be more that she would help make him look good. She's really not his type. I told her that there was no way that could happen. She couldn't be with me and work for the man she'd broken her vows with. I told her that she needed to call her ex-boss and tell him that they could never speak again and I needed to hear her say the words to him. She resisted this fairly strongly. The new job, if it were to materialize, would be an important career boost for her. Turning it down would be a big sacrifice, so I understood some of the hesitation. She asked me for a day or two to think it through. She went over to her mother's house for a couple of hours and when she came back told me that she'd decided to make the call and give up the career opportunity. What she didn't know was that because I get the phone bills, I have access to her call records. I could see that she'd talked to her boss for an hour while she was going to her mother's. I didn't mention that I knew this and had her call her boss. She told him that it had been a huge mistake and that they needed to cut off all communications. He said that he understood and would honor her wishes. Pretty much exactly what I wanted to hear. Later, I asked her if she talked to her boss any since he put her in a cab back to her hotel. She said that she hadn't. I pressed her on this and she said if you want the truth, I sent him a text just seeing how he was recovering from the party. I told her that I knew that this was a lie and I knew she'd talked to him before coming home from her mother's. I pressed her on what the hour-long call was about. She told me it was to talk about what she was going to call him about later with me, the breakup call. I realized of course that this made the whole breakup call a pile of nonsense. I told her that I thought she called him to see if there was any chance of a relationship. She denied, but couldn't otherwise explain what the hell they talked about for so long. Finally she let it slip that he'd said you need to try to make it work with your husband. If not, then we'll see. So my instincts were right. She had to think about whether to turn down the possible career opportunity because she had to figure out what her options were. If she could have the job and the fellow she was infatuated with, that would be her preference. Failing that, she decided she'd rather lose the job and be with her family than be alone and maybe or maybe not get the job. For what it's worth, I eventually told her to accept the job if they offered it. I don't think he will though. Once he had intimacy with her, too much career risk from drama and fallout. That was all about a month ago. Since then, she's been the model wife. We're going to counseling, she's done everything that I've asked, she's put up with my various late-night talkathons, she doesn't complain when I don't let her sleep in our bedroom, and she's not made it about her, much. She clearly wants things to work now and I believe her when she says she wants to be with me. At the same time though, I'm still having difficulty just with the physical side of the infidelity, and I'm having a lot of trouble with being plan B. Part of it is my bruised ego, but a very large part is a concern that she wants our relationship now, but what happens in the future? I feel like she's accepted her life and is now gung-ho about making the best of it. What happens down the road though? So, the question in front of me now is what to do? For the last month, I've been bouncing all over between just digging in and fixing things to thinking about asking her to leave. For what it's worth, if she leaves, the kiddo almost certainly stays with me. My work gives me the time and ability to be a stay-at-home dad, which is a role I enjoy. My inclination as a father is that I probably have to stay and try to make it work. Kids do best with a mommy and daddy who love and respect each other. If there's still even a remote chance of that happening for the long term, I don't think I can deny my son that chance. I'm hoping but not convinced that time will dull some of the raw emotion. She was actively trying to find something better, got rejected by that something, got busted, continued to lie, deny and cover up. Now that those options are dried up, she has no choice but to act the role of a model citizen. She's obviously been okay at acting to this point, so I don't know why you'd buy this sudden change in attitude. She freaking sucks. You are now plan B. Sorry if that's harsh, but I don't see how it's not so. People using plan B will always look for a new plan A, and B never gets promoted to top billing. The events of your story mirror mine very closely. Model wife immediately after the truth came out, counseling going well, a real sense of hope. Until she finds a new A. Get out now with something of your dignity intact. Your children will ultimately be okay. Right now, they know something is wrong, no matter how well you think you two are covering it up. They're smarter than you think and a lot more resilient. They will adapt if you are in a good headspace. You will be on the right path to that if you get out with your dignity. I didn't, and I'm still working on getting it back 100%. Don't be like me and think almost daily about ending it all. Good luck. Let me tell you something about kids. They're very perceptive. They'll know something is broken between mommy and daddy. Worse yet, once they get old enough to figure out the truth, they'll assume since mommy and daddy forced it to work that they should have to deal with it too in their relationships. Don't stay with her just to try to give your son a facade of a healthy relationship. He'll do better with a breakup and separate parents rather than being around two people who can't trust and respect each other. Wow. The man she was cheating on you with sent her back to you after she tried to leave you for him, and you're still together even after knowing this. That's some serious tenacity you have. Hopefully she's as committed as you are and things work out all the same, but that's just mind-blowing.